What is going on, guys? It's Redowan. Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's Redowan, and with me we've got Bjorn Alvarez.
Hello.
You guys know him, and we've got Mr. Tim Hortons himself. We've got
Hello,
John
my
Dale,
Canadian brethren.
and we are the GRiDlock Diecast Show. Now, for today's episode, it's a very interesting episode because it's a dream of mine, right? When I first started this channel, this was something I really wanted to do. I think I told you guys this
He's been
before.
dreaming about working with us.
Sure. I mean, whatever skills are good. But essentially, before we get into the whole topic for today, I want to first, one of two things I want to mention. The first is I want to thank all of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have been brilliant, amazing, and supportive of
Yes,
the content. Right?
Yeah.
The comments are insane.
Yeah.
The love, the
Love the
recognition.
feedback.
Yeah,
Right?
we didn't think
It's
we'll
insane.
do
And I
so
really,
well, yeah.
really thank you guys. It's very interesting, very fun to kind of work with you guys and to
Yeah.
see the love being reciprocated. It's amazing. I
Although
do.
behind the scenes you're annoying.
Yeah, he's really full of himself.
Well,
I mean, we've all had to like do certain things because we have DrifterD on our team.
sure.
Okay.
Anyways, jokes aside, I really want to thank. I think all of us want to thank you sincerely. We really appreciate your love
Yeah,
and
thanks,
support.
guys.
and
Love
concern.
the support and
Yeah,
appreciate the
definitely.
feedback and stuff we get.
With that, the second point I want to kind of touch on is working with you guys. Now,
Yeah.
if any one of you out there want to kind of sponsor this content of the show, do drop us a DM in the description down below, right? Most probably it would be better to kind of DM us on Instagram, right?
Yeah,
It's okay.
I think that'll be quite straightforward.
Any one of our Instagrams, you can just ask
Yeah.
questions. And
So drop us a DM. We would love to work with one of you
Yep.
and the channel, and hopefully we can all.
but
do-
only one of you, not all of you.
No.
Half
The
of
more
you
the
we
merrier.
probably
The
don't
more
even want to
the
talk to.
merrier.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll
but yeah,
figure it out.
drop us a comment or DM us on our socials for that.
Yeah.
So today we're finally gonna dive into the topic. Now, finally, for the first time in this
Finally,
show,
yeah.
right, we have a special guest here.
We got a guest.
We have got a guest, and he is none other than Gabriel, also known as Black Bandit SG.
What's up?
Hey,
Hello.
welcome to the channel. Welcome to our
Welcome,
show.
welcome.
Welcome,
Uh,
boss.
it's
Ready to
very
be here.
nice. It's very nice to have you.
Yeah.
This is a long time in the making, right?
Yeah,
we actually,
yeah,
we actually
little bit.
started talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and you know the logistics and everything, blah blah blah. You guys
Basically, he's a big deal, so we had to like book him months in advance.
know. But yeah, so
Please.
if you guys know, we are here at GearOilCafe's shop, right? A John Dale shop called GearOilCafe, right? But what I'm sure is gonna attract your attention is the pile of cars in the front right there,
B-roll.
right? Yeah. B-roll for since Bjorn has mentioned, we will put a couple of B-rolls for you guys.
Whoa, check that out.
Are you happy now?
Yes.
Are you happy
Whoa,
now?
Look at those cars. I can't see what is on
But
the
yeah,
screen.
so essentially the whole concept for today's episode is to kind of dive into the customizer scene. I think that's a very
yeah.
untouched scene in Singapore, and honestly, the first person I had in mind was Gabriel, and I think it's very nice to kind of have him on the show. So, Gabriel, let's get the show started.
Oh yeah.
Let's start with just a basic introduction of who you are, what you do, and what's your future ambition and goals.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Gabriel Lim, so you can find me as blackbandit.sg on Instagram or TikTok. Please help me guys link it at the
links
bottom.
below.
Thanks
In
so
the
much.
description down below, guys.
You know they have a
Yep.
National Gabriel Day.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, it is.
What?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Wow,
Because my nephew's name's is Gabriel, so
that's cool.
there actually is a National Gabriel
That's super
Day.
cool.
First time
So
I'm
you
ready.
should make actually a car that's
When
like
are we gonna have like a
Actually,
national
yourself.
Beyond Day?
I don't know.
Or national RdnRacing Day? That would be cool.
I told you about being full himself.
But yeah, back to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
For those who click the link and it's back, hey, welcome back.
How was it? Would you like it? Is it pretty good?
But yes, please, yeah,
Yeah.
Gabriel.
So yeah, I basically do. I'm one of the people in Singapore that does 1:64 scale model cars. So there are a lot of other scales, but I love 1:64 because of the community behind it. You know? And yeah, so basically I work mainly with Hot Wheels, but I work with, as you can see, a lot of other different brands. And I don't just do repaints, but I do like full body work and all that, which we'll get into later. So yeah, I mean it's really great to be on the show, and I guess a long-term goal that I have is just to win the Hot Wheels customizer competition in Los Angeles, the Hot Wheels convention. Yeah, so
That's
that's
interesting.
That's a pretty big goal. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty- why,
I-
can I ask like why that one in particular? Is
Yeah.
it like the biggest one for
it's one of the like sort of premier like Hot Wheels event, right? Diecast model car diecast event. And like I said, there are 1 to 18 and 1 to 24 scale
Yeah,
modelers,
yeah.
but the community is very, very sporadic. It's very split up. So I like 164 because there's a good cohesive community that is
Yeah, I would
growing.
think so.
As we can see
Yeah.
these stores and all that, right?
Yeah,
The community is
yeah.
growing, and you don't get that with 1 to 24
I
or
wouldn't
1 to
think so.
18,
Yeah, I
right? It's
wouldn't
just
think so.
the barrier of entry is so much higher. Right? So I think that's a long term goal. I'm a very different customizer in the sense that I don't really do customs to sell. I don't want to monetize this yet because I love doing this, and I love cars, and I love celebrating car culture through customs. So that's all I want to do.
So a little more purist.
A lot more purists,
Yeah.
because and no disrespect to like customizers who do this to do commission work, but because for them every single paint, every single piece of material that they put in the car is money and time.
Yeah.
So they need to be really careful. There has to be certain things that they they have to compromise on, and it's not because they're not skilled.
Because it's cost effectiveness.
It's cost effectiveness, right? You're a businessman, John.
That's true.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to compromise on my craft. So I
Yeah.
just want to focus on it. So yeah.
So it would be more fun, definitely. I would say that, like, just being a purist of anything, being a purist of
Yeah.
any hobby, I would say kind of nicer to have the aspect because there's fewer
More
people, I guess, doing that sort of thing. Because in the end, people do it because maybe they can make some extra funds for their family or whatever. But you know what? It's cool to have you on the show to talk about the other side because you're right. Out of all the people that do customization in Singapore, I would say you're one of the few that probably don't do it for the pure money aspect. Even though, of course, one day I'm sure it might turn into that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you've seen any of his work or you've gone to the link to go check out his pages, the work is fantastic. It's impeccable,
Yeah,
and he high glosses everything, so it all looks really official and really nice.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's nice and you can enjoy it personally. But for the wallet, it's a killer. Oh man, this hobby does get expensive so fast.
You can't get it.
I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
That's a very nice point, Gabriel. I really appreciate it. Now, in the first episode, we actually spoke about what got us into this hobby, right? You guys remember this episode? I'm sure you guys remember
I
as well,
completely forgot already, but
right?
Yeah.
You know, forget about it.
I'll rewatch my own video.
But essentially, I want to ask the exact same question to our guest here, Gabe. So, Gabe, what got you into customizing? You know, because it's very it's very interesting. Because you know, when I got into the hobby, or maybe for you as well, when you didn't think, oh, you know what? I'll drill into the rivets and I'm gonna like paint this and I'm gonna spend like
Yeah.
a couple of days
It's
doing this.
not easy.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
I've
want to
tried
know,
it.
Gabriel, how did you get into customizing?
Yeah.
So I actually did not start with cars. My subjects initially were Gundams.
Cool.
So it was shout out to Joe if he's listening. But this was a guy who he was a primary school teacher, I believe. If I remember correctly. I'm sorry if I get it wrong, Joe. But I was on Facebook in our Singapore Gundam community, and I was just frustrated. I was looking for someone to teach me how to do customization. So I just put it out there. I will offer I'll work a price out. Teach me. Whoever can teach me, teach me. And he reached out to me, and the rest is history. So I started. Yeah.
That's very
Gundam.
interesting.
Goddamn.
Gundam.
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 Damn Gundam.
Yeah.
We are just gonna
That's
put a
horrible.
We don't have to
barrier
filter
here.
that out because it's not a real swear word.
Yeah, so I started doing cars during COVID. So basically, COVID hit, and I wanted to get back into my customization work.
Okay.
I finally finished university, so I was able, because I was doing it overseas, finally was able back in Singapore and able to do it. So I worked on Gundams for a little bit.
Okay.
I actually won a local competition with a Gundam, so I was pretty
Cool,
happy.
nice.
And then all of a sudden, I got into cars again, got into Hot Wheels.
Okay.
But my OCD got the better of me, and I was really frustrated because I felt like a lot of the main lines of details were kind of lacking, and this is before I really understood car culture and everything.
Okay.
So finally, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out and customize because people were slowly getting into it, and I got into it, and and this is, kind of where I ended up in. And I guess one thing I wanted to kind of tell everyone is there's a little bit of the reason why I paint everything black. All my cars are black.
Yeah, why?
Yes. So I'm hugely OCD when it comes to car colors, especially, and for me, black is my favorite color on cars. If it's black, you never go back.
It's true.
Right.
True.
So I think
I
it's
think it
just
relates to something else though,
Yeah.
but
No.
We're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah,
We're not even monetized.
you guys are looking for sponsors, right?
But
Okay.
jokes aside.
Yeah.
Black. Okay, black is good. It's
Yeah,
nice,
and
man. Oh,
I decided that I wanted to only really do black cars. I think that's the best color. Of course, I merge it with different colors and all that, but I still think it's bar none the best color on a car, full stop, on any car. And yeah, I think it's honestly just OCD. And my name comes from you guys know what GreenLight Collectibles is? It's an American diecast brand. So they have a series of cars called Black Bandit, the Black Bandit
that's right,
collection.
yeah.
So I just adopted the name because
Cool.
I love that. Yeah. So that's
So
it.
you literally created like, oh, what should I name my Instagram page? Oh, the Black Bandit.
Exactly.
What?
No, that's it. That's
Oh,
it.
so that's
Yeah,
really
but I'm
nice.
sure he
That's
didn't sound like that when he.
No, I didn't.
You know, that's just a drifter.
I like to
Yeah.
imagine that he did.
Like
Like Scooby Doo stuff.
But it's a very interesting thing, right? I really gotta say, the whole concept of black, and it's a very nice
actually,
story.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's something
Greenlight.
I bet none of you out there know or have any idea about. Even I had no idea about
I
this.
didn't know. I really didn't.
Right?
Yeah.
So now,
Now I thought his family was black.
Which one?
What?
I'm just creating content off my tongue.
They're looking for ads. They're looking for sponsors, everyone.
it's hard for me to lose.
You keep getting
lose my
shorter.
words. So that's a very nice kind of backstory on what you got. It's very interesting to kind of see the jump from Gundam to Hot Wheels. I would never have assumed if you didn't tell me, I would never have guessed.
No.
You came from Gundam, right?
I thought you just liked the color black.
Yeah.
Oh, you are right. I do love the color black.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I've owned so many black vehicles, but when you're not talking about a real life vehicle that you have to maintain the color,
Yeah.
slap it on there, you know it's going to look nice forever, it's going to pop, it's going to be good. So
That's
black honestly does look good on almost everything.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're gonna move on because if you guys can notice something, that is a trophy right here.
Oh,
Right?
Mr. Champion!
So recently, all of us here actually went to the Malaysia Diecast Expo. That was in KL. I know you guys know what that coffee is about.
But that's for later. Yeah.
That's for later. But so we did go to the Malaysia Diecast Expo this year. It was our second year there.
Yeah,
Where we
yeah,
went last
second.
year.
Yeah.
This was the second year there, and our guy here, Gabriel, actually won the custom competition. He came in
Yeah.
third. Now it's insane, right? Yeah. Round of applause because it's insane. He won not only among Singaporean customizers, but also Malaysian
So
customizers.
international.
It's
kind of
insane
award.
how big of an accomplishment that is, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, and that's one of the reasons why I told him to bring the trophy along, just
Yeah.
to show and share with you guys, because it's brilliant, it's insane. And that's what I want to talk about next. Your experience during the custom competition. Also, please show us the car that kind of won
Okay. Yeah.
the glory.
So yeah. So this is it. So there was a 1981 Camaro CCA track car. So designed by Bjorn. So yeah, these decals are actually from a movie called Days of Thunder. I don't know, maybe some of you have watched it.
80s film!
Yes.
Finally,
you
a
watched it.
40-year-old reference.
Yes!
Finally!
Something relatable!
I can't relate, guys. We're half the age.
These fucking pups.
So shout out to this Texas-based diecast decal manufacturer called Second Chance Red Lines. They do amazing work, and yeah, they make the NASCAR decals. So I thought I'd put some NASCAR decals on the Camaro.
Sweet,
Yeah, so
sweet.
this is-
We'll make sure to get nice B-roll of it.
Yeah,
Those are all
for
quite
sure.
nice.
We will
Yeah.
show you guys. But it's very nice, right? Also, before we forget, tell us about your experience when you heard that you won the race.
Oh
you
my
won the
gosh.
competition.
Yeah.
You had to leave
was
sooner
leaving.
before it was too late.
Yeah.
So you don't think you got even, you didn't get to be there when they announced you?
Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
So how did that feel, Gabe? I'm sure it
Yeah,
must have felt.
I didn't believe it at first. So basically, for those who don't know, we had to leave early. It was me and Bjorn had a flight to catch.
Yeah.
And so a very amazing friend of mine, shout out to Lucas of Custom Diary, who
Shout out.
Shout out.
brought all, and not just my customs, but because I brought the whole Singapore contingent's customs up for everyone. So Lucas helped bring everything back. So thank you so much, Lucas. Thanks. And basically, I was at the airport, and we were looking for a staff member of AirAsia to help us to just figure out how we're gonna check in,
Yeah, we were
because
so
there were
lost.
dozens of families, and there was no air conditioning.
headache.
It was hot and humid, and we were just trying to check in. And then finally, as we got to the check-in counter, and the agent was scanning our boarding documents, and then all of a sudden my phone vibrates. I pick it up and Lucas goes, "Congrats!" And then he's got a trophy, and I didn't believe it. And I was like, "Bjorn, I won!" And and then
I was
so,
there.
Nice.
yeah. So he was.
Come
Bjorn
on,
was there.
you didn't win. Gabriel won. Come on.
He's just as excited, okay? That's his cue.
Well, he
No, he was
didn't
there.
win because we were having Burger King in the airport, and he actually got the chase of this.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
So we were seated down, right?
Yeah.
We just got our order.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Nice.
okay lah, open lah.
What are the odds of the chase?
I wasn't even thinking
we
about
weren't
the
thinking
chase.
about it,
I
yeah.
forgot that. I not forgot, but I forgot the chase existed. You know,
Oh, yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of like, oh, okay, let me just open it up. And I open.
Yeah, chase.
And I show him, and then he was like, gonna buy his burger.
Such a fire chase. Such a good job. The F40 and both RX-7s, love them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
love.
nice.
I lucked out the kind of package I got.
Yeah.
I got one of each, and I was just like,
It's actually
because it's
nice,
like
yeah.
I
The
wanted them
F40.
so bad because
Yeah.
I thought they were so fire.
The F40,
Yeah.
the F40 is
F40 was so
Wow.
good.
It
I
is-
still have customers
I
requesting
mean,
for
the
an
chase
F40.
pieces are definitely nice.
Yes.
It's a brilliant collector's item. I mean, you guys don't chase pieces. I know someone here did a video on how why mini GT chases are shit,
Yeah, I wonder who
right?
Mm.
A reply will be coming. A reply will be coming from me soon. but
Sure.
but the chases from here are actually brilliant. They're actually very nicely done. And you know the fact that he won one and then Gabe won his custom competitions. You know,
Yeah.
after what I would say a very exhausting and losing event, that was a big win for the both of you, right?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking
If
about.
you grade the whole event as a whole, I think it was an A. If I had to grade it as a whole, because I mean, yes, a little chaotic. I think the queues were mad. Organization was kind of all over the place. But the overall experience, if I was gonna like tell somebody I liked it or tell somebody I didn't like it, I would still say yes, it's a must go to. You gotta check it out because last year wasn't the same as this year. This was chaotic, but the show was more intense.
Right.
So if we're kind of like grading on a scale of,
Right.
50% being like a fail, anything below, I would say it's still an A. Like I would still tell people to go to the event for the next
I'm
year.
surprised you say that actually, and I'm very surprised honestly. It's very different from what I felt.
I think that everybody's gonna have their own outlook,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people got like pushed off the side or stuck in the back of the long queue. I also had to queue up for hours, and then me and my wife also we had to split up. You queue over here, I'll queue over here, but at the same, I don't feel like maybe with a bit more organization and a little more direction from the staff, it could have been a little better. But it didn't change my outlook on the whole event. I enjoyed it personally. I enjoyed it as a business. I still managed to get a few pieces to bring back for everybody. As you guys all know, like everything for me is like a hobby second, business first. So like the fact that I was able to bring a bunch of stuff back for my customers, it was great. And I managed to get at least one of everything for everybody. But I'm sure not everybody had that same, right? Because there's a lot of sellers in Malaysia. So I mean, some people missed out.
But I'm gonna cut you right here, John. I do apologize.
A lot of things happened.
I do apologize, John. But this is a very interesting topic, right?
It is.
Yeah, maybe it has to be a
And-
topic on a video.
And so I tell you what, just because you guys are very interested in this, and just because we got Gabriel here as well,
Yeah.
but what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna bring this to another episode. To the
Yes.
next
Yeah,
episode,
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Tune in.
Tune
We'll
in.
discuss more in depth about
Subscribe. Click on the subscribe button.
diecast
right?
events.
Yeah, I mean,
In general.
Pros and
honestly,
cons.
you know, with what John said, it's very interesting that you have that particular take on this.
I loved it. It was
Right?
great. And then I saw everybody
And
was
so-
like, "What? Why does everybody have so bad?"
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a separate episode, which is right after this, where we're gonna talk about MDX, guys. In general, obviously.
be
all
good
of us.
because all of us were there, so it makes
Yeah,
kind of
Gabriel
sense.
was
Yeah.
there.
So
Gabriel
stay
was
tuned for
there,
that. I don't want to spoil too much of the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah.
I
Let's
do
not take away
apologize.
from Gabriel's spotlight we're giving him.
We want to bring back, we want to jump back to Gabriel here, and I've got a couple of questions before we end today's video. Now, Gabe, when it comes to your customs, is there a skill gap between you and maybe some other customizers?
Yeah, so skill gap. Wow, that's an interesting way to put it. So yeah, Redowan, you and I talked about this kind of prior to
We did.
this episode. I think I want to preface this by saying that I think my customs are by no means perfect. I have a long way to go, and I'm still working on kind of like every single aspect of it. And I'm always learning from people, from other customizers from around the world,
Yeah.
from Singapore, and all that.
Right.
So, I think that being said, when I want to talk about skill gap, what I wanted to talk about was kind of the there are a lot of customizers who have tried to get into this, and they always give up very early on. And I always ask them why, and it's always the same question is always, it's just too hard, or oh your work is
It is.
your
I
work
tried
is
it, yeah.
yeah your work is so good. How do I even get into this, right?
Yeah.
And I think I want to preface by saying that every single great customizer you see on Instagram, whether it's Jakarta Diecast Project, or it's Chrome Bandits, or it's Cthulhu Customs, right? Or it is Ricer Customs or 22 Ave. All these guys started somewhere. They all had to start somewhere. None of them got into this with knowing how to do all this off the bat. I did not. There are so many of my customs that I've put back into my customization box because I think I can do a much better job, right? I think there are some exceptions to this, like for example, Mizu. Shout out to Mizu, she's an amazing customizer.
Fantastic.
Your shirt for that?
This is my shirt, by the way.
This is our shout out for the episode. Mizu, come and work with us. Hey, when you come by the GearOilCafe shop, maybe we'll shoot an episode if you guys want.
I came from work. I the stupid one. I forgot my shirt, so I borrowed his shirt.
Yeah.
So,
Nah, man, but I mean, jokes aside, damn on the haters, eh? Then we'll be dabbing all day. But back to you, Gabe. So you were saying about Mizu.
Mizu is really interesting because, of course, she came into this with a lot of like hand painting skills, right? As a former nail technician. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's a former nail technician. But I think that being said, those are really more of the exceptions, right? I think everyone needs to try and hit the ground running. They're like I think to use an analogy of athletes, right, or professional sportsmen. Some of them come in and they play like pros immediately, right? Formula One, if you guys know Formula One, Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Räikkönen came into the scene fighting with the legends of their era, right? When they first started. Not everyone is like that, and many of our great athletes and people who have achieved things start all the way at the bottom and they just work at it. It's just that nobody cares. Nobody cares. No one cares when you're still working, right? They only see the final result once you've done it all and you've won competitions and all that. But don't be discouraged. Like try it out. Get into the weeds of it. It is the only way to keep going.
But that's a very good point, John. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
But recently I saw this post about Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
So he ran a 9-second 100-meter, right?
Right.
But what people don't see is he actually trained for 4 straight years. Right? And essentially
nobody sees that grind.
The entirety of his life went on to training for just 9 seconds. Right? And here's the thing, no one sees the 4 years. Right? No one sees
all the struggle you gotta go through.
No one, because you are nobody back then.
How many videos you got? How many views you get per video on your first videos?
Wow.
Right? How many customers do I have come in my shop on before I had a shop? None. One. You'd be lucky to get one guy a week to come by. One view every other hour.
Like when I started my YouTube channel, I barely had views. Half the views was myself. Right?
I mean, you go from one account just to click on the other account. You're like, nice.
I'll be honest. I mean, I gotta be honest because, like you guys know me, I'm always honest.
Me too.
It's that grind. It's that grind.
Because,
nobody sees that.
Because it's always hard to start from ground zero. Right? And I think it applies to everything. Like you know how Gabriel said about just customizing in general, right? It starts from somewhere. You gotta start. You gotta believe in yourself. I mean, I gotta say, when I even tried once to kind of custom a car, and
I tragically failed the last time.
I failed. I drilled. I started drilling the rivets, and then I drilled through the entire car. And just went through.
Mine's better. I chose the wrong glue to put stuff back together. I used ceramic high industrial strength glue. And it corroded the entire car away.
So
it's great. I'll show Gabe stuff later. It's fantastic.
Bjorn has
tragic fail.
I'm sure you've tried before.
Yeah, water slide decal. I tried to put the water slide decal, and then I had to adjust it, and I ended up just crumpling the whole decal.
So here's a catch for you guys. Someone like Bjorn can screw up. So why not embrace the screw up?
You guys need
embrace the screw up.
I love that.
Because we all have to screw up in order to figure out how it's going to look nice.
I mean, even now when we are, when I'm doing my own videos, I do make mistakes as well. I just screw up. It's normal, right? But you just gotta believe that you can.
Just try. Every journey of 1,000 steps. What is it? Every journey.
A journey of 1,000 steps.
Steps begins with the first step or something.
I think we're all getting very
I don't even remember. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
I think the main important thing is being okay with failing. I think that's the best way to put it. I think
for sure.
I think all of these customs you see here, there's not one that I don't have a story of like I had to start all this all over again, or I was like this close to having to take
frustrating.
everything back to paint stripper and try all over again. This wild entry, this wide body Ford Falcon, this Chem Block tribute car that I did. this is the second time that I rebuilt this thing.
Right, wow.
And it took me 2 times before I
Nice.
was finally satisfied with how it was. So,
You know what I was gonna say briefly. I almost can relate to the way you do what you do by kind of weighing a martial art. And we were talking about it off camera before about martial arts and stuff like that. But it's kind of interesting because we talk about Mizu.
Right.
You said she did like nail tech type
Yeah,
stuff.
so she used to be
right?
a technician. Yeah.
You come from like doing Gundams and stuff like that. It's almost like every customizer is like their own form of martial arts.
Yeah.
It's their own form of art that it's like they have to start doing something else. But it's quite interesting because, of course, we all know Taekwondo, karate, judo, but they started as doing something, but the person who created it was either ex-military, good with hand-to-hand combat, and it's like you look at Gabe and it's like, I did Gundam. Now to be a good diecast customizer, I have that Gundam figuring keen sense of detail. And you look at Mizu and it's just like, okay, look, small object, need painting, need high intensity concentration. And it's kind of interesting because now you can take his customized pieces to Mizo's customized pieces to other Singapore and international customizers, and everybody's just slightly different because we all have that different background.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because now you can go to your favorite customizer and saying like, you know what, I like
Style.
I like Gabe's because it's like not only does he do muscle car and a little more masculine type of setups with them all black and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's not feminine by any means. I'm sorry for all our female viewers, but black is like badass. This is like muscle, beef.
That's why we're all wearing black.
We got wide body trucks
We're
apparently
all
in there.
we're all wearing
wide
black.
body truck.
We're all wearing
Yes,
black.
we're all wearing black.
To commemorate. Okay.
So, but just to kind of add on to your point, John, I think that's a very nice point. For our younger audience out there, you guys are just starting, right? Open yourself to new experiences.
Yeah.
Right?
Do something that could be related, but you don't have to be the best at that field right away.
Like for example, I was always a very introverted person, to be honest.
Same.
Right? But I actually joined the debate team back when I was in secondary school.
Yeah.
And that actually
He's really
helped
good
me-
at arguing. That makes sense.
That actually helped me open up.
Yeah.
To be here today, to have my own podcast show, to be able to call this my own, it has required a lot of experiences in our life.
Yeah.
Some positives, some negatives. I did fumble when I went for my debate competitions. I did like freeze up and stuff, right? It
Now
happens.
you're all grown up. You're a real boy.
It happens.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we kind of we kind of like grasp onto these experiences, and we grow. Same thing for Gabe right here, right? With all his customs, which is just absolutely brilliant, guys. I absolutely love the cars. The castings here are a bunch. Which brings us to our last point before we end off today's episode. That is, Gabe, can you give us a quick run through of all the cars? So you've got a bunch of
Show
cars.
us.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of cars here.
What makes them all kind of different?
And I believe they're from different brands as well. So just tell us the original brand, and also what you've done, just to quickly give our audience a little overview.
Yeah, I'd be happy to show off. I'm standing right now, so I'd be happy to show off kind of what I brought today. So I decided to bring like a mixture of different kinds of
Eye candy.
yeah, thanks. Different, not just Hot Wheels cars, but also like a lot of other brands, diecast brands I really wanted to work on. And so I'm just going to get started. So I guess I'll start with the my Pop Race Hakosuka. So this is the V8 Drift Hakosuka, and so I basically did some speed hunter decals. This is the comparison of the
the
NDX.
original Hako.
Yeah, I made sure to keep the white body a separate color, and
Nice
and
touch,
some
yeah. It's
metallic
good.
black.
Nice
Yeah,
touch.
with speed
It's
hunter
got kind of like that Kaido host vibe to it.
Yes, that was my
very cool.
And Kaido House Instagram contacted me and said great job on this. So
Bro, that's nice.
That's
That's sick. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hey, you know what? For the record, that's actually quite notable.
Yes,
because
yeah.
when I was there, I was in line, and there was this other guy who's been doing a lot of customization as well. I'm just gonna take a detour a little bit.
Yeah.
He had glue tack holding some parts together or something like that. So Junamai called him out. He's like, "Why the fuck is there glue tacks on?" And then the entire auditorium was laughing at this guy. And it's funny enough, he like ended up being friends with me on Facebook. And he's like, "I was that guy that Junamai had." That was at the dinner. If you guys didn't get a chance to go, but yeah, he like did something and he like fused some parts together with glue tack.
Oh,
and
wow.
Junamai called him out on stage. So.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but that was so comical. But it just goes to show you, if you do that kind of shit, prepare to be called out. But
Also, since we're calling out, it's blue tech, not glue tech.
glue tack,
Blue tech.
it's not blue
It's
tack.
not blue tech.
It's
here in
not. It's
Singapore.
not blue tack.
In
You guys are
Singapore.
all wrong.
In
This
Singapore.
You are-
half the
Blue tack
planet
is
is
the
wrong.
brand.
Welcome to
Glue
Singapore.
tack is the brand.
Glue tack is
Glue tack is the actual.
Out of
Like
house.
Q-tips, it's the brand. It's actually cotton buds.
This is my show.
No, this is our country.
I got 33% of the show, plus we're in my house.
You're in our country, Team Hortons. Hey, all of.
That's one double fine to you, sir.
No, but
Oh my gosh.
all jokes aside, it's really interesting to see how even Junima or Glenn,
Yeah.
they kind of like really interact with everyone out there.
Yeah, they do,
Which is something we also talk about in the next episode. So once again, guys, do be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for the next episode, because if you're having fun here, you're gonna have a lot more fun in the next episode. Right, but back to you,
Definitely.
Gabe.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yes, I'll be quick. So yeah, so I'm gonna show these two off at once. So these are Kaido houses. So this is my 240Z. I couldn't afford I couldn't find a chase for a good price, so I decided to do my own.
Right.
And yeah, so chrome decals, holographic decals, and yeah, just a cool Kaido house look. And then this is one of my favorite.
The wide body Chevy.
So this is the Silverado dually. So June, this is an amazing job that you did.
Very good, very
Yeah,
good.
so I love this piece. All the opening parts work, although I did drop the tailgate just now.
God,
so-
don't drop any of the Kaido House cars.
Yeah, they will-
I'm sorry, but it's not a toy per se. We've discussed this in other episodes, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And this car actually just got featured in a magazine called Diecast Heroes, a US model car magazine
Sweet.
that focuses on customizers, and they featured this, so I was really happy.
Yeah, congrats, man. Congrats. You are. Let's see, you've been doing very well in the.
Yes, yeah.
the
Yeah,
customization,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's really amazing.
Yeah.
Really proud of you, man. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
What's
So,
next?
I'm also going to showcase kind of two. I also have two Elite 64s here. So, as you all know, the Elite 64 line has been kind of controversial.
Yeah.
You know, some people hate them.
We all
Someone here
love to hate them.
really doesn't like them. Yeah, but I actually, after taking them apart, I can kind of confirm that there's quite a bit to be desired in terms of like interactivity.
Crazy.
Yeah, and which I'll kind of sort of touch into really quick on the next two cars that I have. But so this is the Elite 64 Chaser. So I did a HKS Genki livery. This was on this was on an
Understated car. An
Yes.
understated car. It was
Yeah.
kind of like you loved it or you really hated it.
But I think it was
yeah,
because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
it's the first release from them.
Yeah.
So it took a while for people
People
to
kind of warm up to the
to it.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. That's right. Yeah.
And then this is my favorite Elite 64 and one of my favorite
Mustang.
Yeah, Mustang. So this is basically my
Does the hood
well,
stuff still come off?
Yes, it does. I'm not going to do it now because, but there, I have photos of it and all
Oh,
that.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
it does come out. Just that I don't want to accidentally like lose it or something. So
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it on. But yeah, so the clamshell still comes off and everything. So yeah, I had so much fun. So one thing about Elite 64 is they have the best roll cages of like any.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wow, what a difference between them and Kaido House, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like all the details are inside the car, so you can
Yeah.
barely even see it.
Right.
Right. So
And especially with the Mustang, since the windows are way sleek and it's almost like
So
a
small.
chop top. It's so you can't even see.
Yeah.
But once you take it apart, I have first-hand experience of taking that one apart, unfortunately, and mine does not look as nicely nearly as nice as yours. And like inside, it has so much detail, like the cage and everything, the mesh between the two the seats.
It's really
It's
good.
really good.
It's really good.
It's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, just to kind of add on, I think for the Elite 64 lineup, it's very hit or miss, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
For
more
example,
misses than
the
hits.
Chaser came out first, right?
Yeah.
The Chaser was like I mentioned, it takes a while for you to warm up,
Yeah.
right? The 300 SL came next, which I immediately loved because I do love opening parts, and the gullwing door was amazing.
Yeah.
Right, so that feature kind of attracted my attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because if you go to my collection, if the part can be open, it's open in my collection.
Right.
Because I want to see the details and stuff.
Yeah.
And then came the Aventador.
Okay, that one is cool.
She was
That
the
one,
best. I gotta say, she was the best.
Huh? You don't like it?
My Mustang's my favorite by far.
Okay.
And if I had to pick a close second, of course the Aventador is it. I just have bones to pick with the QC team in Mattel. That's all it is. To it. That's of a horse of a different color.
And
But-
That's the PG version of this channel.
But here's the thing. I think you guys would agree with me, especially Bjorn. That's where it kind of died off. Yeah, the Mustang came next, which was good.
and then
right,
what happened
with
at the Audi?
But then the Audi came, right?
What's happening?
The Land Rover came.
Hey, luckily we have the person in lead of that team coming to Singapore. So tune in for our very special
Yes, please.
Singapore Diecast Expo pop-up questionnaire,
Yeah.
where we hammer the actual design.
where we interrogate him.
We're all gonna do a tag at the same time. We'll put like a spotlight. We're like, where were you?
And then the Datsun came, and I think it was Gabriel that did a video on the wheels, especially
Yes.
on the camber, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's hilarious.
I gotta say it's a very hit and miss. It's like you said, right? Beyond.
Yeah.
But what I can appreciate is what Gabe has done with it.
Yeah.
Which is to just increase the visual appeal.
Apparently,
of it.
you can
Because-
polish a turd.
He beautified
Yeah.
it, man.
and he's doing that, right?
Yeah.
He's
Wait,
polishing
wait,
it.
wait, I just
Well,
caught it.
thank you.
It's like,
took you long enough, but yeah. So it's very interesting to see what Gabe has done.
This is true. You really like completely. If a person never saw the original, I would say like you set the bar in the standard way too high.
oh, that's a really
Yeah.
good way to
And
put it.
I mean, and when you have and you've taken and you're a purist of this hobby, and you just do something before anybody's seen the original, and you tell them like what's their thoughts on it. It's a good standard, and you set the bar kind of higher. Now it's difficult for other customizers in the industry to even compare their work to you, even though you might even be a new person just starting, right? It's not like we're talking like you've got 10, 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
But some people who have 10, 20 years experience, still their work doesn't even compare to Gabriel's. So it's just like interesting to see how, you know, the meticulous detail moves into that hobby. And as you get more involved with diecast, that you could take something that really doesn't look that great and then really transform it. So if I do show some of you guys that have never seen the Mustang casting, like it's okay, but yours is 10 times better.
Right.
And even a lot of the other ones too, I'm just like, wow, I didn't even know the Pop Race one could look that good. I like Pop Race. Pop Race is great. Hot Wheels also does a great job, but sometimes they really kind of miss the mark.
Yeah, dude.
And if I look at yours for the standard, I feel like the bar's set a bit higher now for my personal.
For sure. And I think it's very interesting, right, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But also, like Gabe mentioned earlier in the episode, I think it also boils down to you as a customizer.
Yeah.
Right.
How much time and effort you really want to put into your
And
craft.
to kind of touch into this perspective, I believe our next guest that Bjorn's gonna bring in is gonna be someone on a different spectrum, right? We're not gonna reveal the name because we want to keep it a surprise for you guys. But essentially, the concept that he follows is very different from Gabriel's. So we're gonna see kind of like a little comparison made,
Contrast,
Cool
right?
dude.
Yeah.
Right, because I think your intentions make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Right. What your intentions are clearly reflected in your work.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly
It's,
right.
I'm not saying it's a good and a bad thing. It can be a good and a good thing, but it's good and a good and a different thing. Right. Right. I hope the things make sense.
And I think that's right,
Yes.
because when everybody comes to me for certain things and D for certain things, they come for us because they know what we do now.
Yeah.
But did you know I spent 12 years in law enforcement? Do you know that somebody worked at KFC or this guy worked at a Fry Hut? You don't know us for our past work. That's our old friends who know us for that. But it's interesting because now people come to me and say, John, can you find me that rare 1970 Mustang that I can't seem to get my hands on? No problem, because that's kind of my forte now. How do I become a really sensational and prominent content creator, right? How do I get to that 1 million views? Like,
Don't
you
follow
know?
DrifterD as well.
Sheesh!
Okay, I'm kidding. But, I mean, no, you guys know this. I will just
He's
joke
just
between
jealous.
us.
That's what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, you
We
got
don't have play buttons in our living room.
exactly. You know what they say. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
That's exactly right.
That's why he's here.
I hate you.
No, but that's just how the dynamic is. Of
That's
the
it,
group.
that's it.
Jokes aside, it's very interesting to kind of see the perspective, the shift in perspective, right?
Yes, yeah.
And
That's why I think our next guest will like really shed some light on the opposite, contrasted outlook on maybe they were once a purist, but maybe they found themselves in a situation where it became more cost effective because they got parts or paint cheaper or whatever, or they just got to a point where they needed the funds coming into their account.
Yeah.
We all have different reasons why we move into different things, but that's kind of the whole thing of it, right?
And I think, and the good thing at the end of this day is, if you are someone who's starting, right, you guys now or then will have the full experience,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so make a lot easier for you guys to start. But enough of us dilly-dallying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Get back to you. Let's finish up with the cars.
Yeah, true. So, moving on from a Late 64, I decided to showcase these two cars afterwards.
Daytona.
No, it's a Superman actually.
Okay. All right. Specifics.
You must say Plymouth on the side.
It does say Plymouth on the side, yeah. No, but I wanted to showcase these two castings because this is sort of the line that I feel Elite 64 tried to emulate, but they weren't 100% successful, right? So, and no fault of the designers of these cars. I think it's more of just the way Mattel kind of worked, sort of designed the line to be. So this is the 1970 Plymouth Superbird stock car.
Blue tint, man.
Yeah.
The blue road cage,
Yeah.
the blue.
I actually did this 2 years ago, but I completely redid the clear coat.
I like the stock car, and don't get me wrong. 43. Isn't that a significant stock car?
Richard Petty.
Richard Petty.
The
That's
one
right.
from
I
the
should be
car-
knowing this.
from
As a
the cars.
Canadian, I should know.
Yeah.
All North Americans know Richard Petty to be the most iconic
Yeah.
guy who rocked
He's
the
won
car.
he's won the most NASCAR.
Is one the most.
Cups,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's quite interesting.
And then over on the spectrum from a track race car, we have a straight line kind of monster. So this is one of my favorite 100% castings. This is a 1957 Plymouth Fury sort of Pro Street. So as you can see, wheelie bars.
Nice.
It's a Hot
chrome wheelie
Wheels,
bars.
right?
Yes.
I think our
This
viewers
is a
might
Hot
not
Wheels,
realize
by
that
the
it's a
way.
Hot Wheels
That's
car,
cool.
yeah.
Look at all these are all separate plastic pieces.
Hot Wheels used to look like this back
Yes,
then.
Hot Wheels used to look like this.
Yeah.
The engine, I don't, you guys can't see from here, but the engine of these two
We'll do
are,
B-roll. Don't worry.
yeah,
Don't worry.
are actually, this engine has even its own drivetrain and transmission, all molded as a single die-cast piece.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow,
That's the
cool.
level of
That's
detail.
cool.
So,
Right.
so this line, Elite 64 was designed by Philip Ryman. This line 100% was designed by Larry Wood.
Okay.
So basically 100% line, the whole gist of it was Larry Wood as a senior designer finally getting his ability to design whatever he wanted.
Right.
So Mattel said to him, go ahead, whatever you need, how much money you want, as long as you don't go too over budget, make it, and make these cars look amazing for adult collectors. So yeah, I guess maybe for cost reasons, maybe Mattel can't do 100% ever again, right? Because they're even more detailed than RLCs, which I'll go into a little bit later.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're really cool. They haven't aged very well, unfortunately. They were not painted particularly well.
Right.
And many 100% look like absolute trash because the paint has just been destroyed. This car, I actually found cockroaches inside. When I
Nice.
first- yeah, I found dead roaches inside. It was given to me for free. That was how bad it was. And it was so like, even the tooling was so strange. Like, when I riveted and I drilled open, I found screws.
Cockroaches? Oh,
No,
sorry.
I found cockroaches in the interior. Yeah, I did. Like,
Did they have their seatbelt
well,
on?
mummified roaches are all dead. No, they don't say this.
That's why they were there in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't have their seatbelt.
Safety first, guys. Safety first.
But I found that this car actually has screw rivets already inside the rivets, which is so weird.
Cool.
So it looks like it's riveted like a normal car. The moment you
Yeah.
tap open it, you can put a screw through. You can put screws through it, and it's fine. And I was like, that's so weird.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's But they were super cool. They came in all kinds of weird variants. I don't have time, but basically like some of them had the Goodyear tires like these, some of them didn't.
Right.
A few of them have the Richard Petty decals, some don't. Yeah, and one thing about 100% cars is that they're also not easy to find. They're really rare. So
Yeah.
the 57 Plymouth, I think, only had 3 releases. I only wanted to customize this one because it was in garbage condition. The rubber bands had eaten through the paint, and you can see the bend.
Those
on
rubber
it.
bands are
I hate
killer.
when that happens.
Oh my gosh. Just eat away
No.
the paints and the plastics.
What I want to ask is
Yes.
the next car on the mat, because I think you can kind of play with the suspension, right?
Yes.
So,
Okay, so
talk
we're gonna
us
move
through
on
this.
to RLCs real quick. So basically, I'm gonna move on to kind of the RLCs I have. So I love customizing RLCs. I have a lot of RLC customization.
You picked a good selection of
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
I like these ones.
Yeah. So a lot of hobbyist collectors think I'm absolutely insane for customizing RLCs, but I'm kind of OCD and I want them to
Because everybody looks for the cost involved with everything.
Yeah.
You're a purist in every hobby.
Yeah.
Nobody understands your craziness and
Yeah.
the madness behind
I
it.
am crazy. I am mad and crazy for doing this, but I don't.
But in the end, people love it.
yeah, cool.
Right?
Thanks, yeah. So I did basically a 1964 Chevrolet Impala RLC.
Pally.
all the-
6.4.
One of my
Low-rise
all-time
suspension
favorites.
still
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
The hydraulic
Very
still
gangster.
function. So this and I also did a Plymouth.
I love that car. Anybody who's been in the shop knows I have one on display.
Yeah.
That is a sick, very slick, very cool muscle car. Very,
Yes.
very cool.
So for those who don't know, so the Barracuda, so basically Philip Ryman's kind of dream muscle car.
Right.
The idea is that if he could build this muscle car, no money, no object, this is what he do.
Right.
68 Barracuda hatchback.
I mean, I think just to touch on muscle cars, I've told you this before, Gabe. I'm not a very big muscle car guy.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that I hate
All the
them.
muscles just going to his brain. That's the problem.
Okay, like how muscular.
I mean,
You
I
gotta walk sideways through the doorway all the time. Sorry,
No,
man.
the thing is, I can't really appreciate muscle cars, but I gotta say, the white selection here is just absolutely brilliant. It tickles my fancy, if I may.
Yeah.
Right. It's very nice.
Beside what's tickling, go on to describe the last car for us.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind.
Alright, so yeah, okay, so last car for a little bit. So I'm not really gonna touch on the 81 Camaro because I've already done it just now. But I will actually talk about this. So this is my 1973 Ford Falcon.
My favorite.
Yeah,
My
10
favorite.
block tribute car. So as you can see, this is not stock by any means. So this started off life as a Ford Falcon mainline, and I widened the arches, added the wide body,
Right.
the wing, the aerodynamic elements, the splitters, the sort of like jet engine style and supercharger on the front. So yeah, so I wanted to do this. I love Ford Falcons. I'm a huge Mad Max and Chem Block guy.
Yeah.
So Chem Block Ford, Mad Max.
We
Ford
can't tell
Falcon.
by your shirt.
So yeah, I kind of I've always loved the Falcon, and I was looking for like someone who had done this car as a wide body, and I couldn't find it. So I was
No,
like,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I'm just gonna do it myself.
Nice,
So
nice,
yeah,
nice.
I entered this in the Malaysia Diecast Expo. I didn't win because some of the wild entries are insane, but I'm actually gonna enter this in one or two US competitions. So
No, that's great.
I'd like to see you do this to a Lightning or a Ford, like a truck. I'd like for you to GT3 the crap out of that and bring it to Sipaku Gilon. I would like to even pay for a commission to you to do that if you're not going to do it yourself. I would literally pay to have that done because I think I love that style so much. It resembles the Mustang so much, and I already love that style. But I think you should try to venture into doing a muscle truck, like a Lightning or something cool like that. And then enter in Sipaku or like the next big show or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
More to come, guys.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one more fun fact about this was that the front splitter
Uh-huh.
is from the Ford F-150.
Nice.
So yeah.
I just think I'm a bit of a truck fan, so when it comes to muscle cars and stuff like that, I grew up in like the Lightning era.
Right,
like
right,
we're
yeah.
talking 5.4 liter
Yeah.
supercharged
Yes,
V8,
those were
and this
fast.
thing whined like any muscle car
Yeah,
ever.
global warming.
Yeah, screw the planet. 3 miles to the gallon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'd love to see it like that. And if you're gonna do the muscle car and keep with that theme, I would love to see, and I'm sure our viewers would too, see that put into a muscle truck. And do something with like a cool tonneau cover with maybe like a rear engine mount in the box. Because like back in like the day when my dad and his like friends around that generation, they're all customizing anything. If it was a Cono line 60s van, let's stick a fucking 427 in the back of the thing and watch it do wheelies all the way down the street.
Yeah.
They were thinking way outside the box. And I think when that got transferred into the diecast world, then we started to see like wild ideas. And then of course now we've got Legends Tour and stuff like that where they go around showing these guys pieces of work off. But honestly, on a 1/64 scale, I would love to see your work put into a truck and
that's an interesting
track
idea.
it right out. Big wing, just look really badass. That'd be really cool.
More to come, guys. More
Yeah,
to come.
yeah.
So be sure to follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, everything's down below in the
It's
comment,
all
below
down
in the
below.
description box.
But essentially, before we end up today's episode, I want to thank Gabriel. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
bro,
boss.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks
for coming over, for giving us so much of your time.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what you've brought to the table. I think it's very, very interesting to kind of see, what customizers can do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you guys have any questions, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to kind of answer them for you.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think you guys learned a thing or two about customizing.
I
right?
did actually, shed some light on a lot of things. I never
Bjorn, what
thought
do you
about.
think?
Yeah, I think it was dope. It's really cool to see the
Yeah.
cars.
So
up close
cool.
and personal.
Let me know in the comments, guys, below what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this kind of content, right? It's very new, albeit it's something that I really want to do. Let me know in the comments if you guys like. But essentially, I think that's going to wrap the video.
That's it. That's it.
Right,
I
thanks.
mean, honestly, each of us are holding one of the ones we thought was the coolest.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I kind of love this, but I'm a Ford guy. You guys all know. Come on.
Yeah.
These are so cool,
I also
and
like these,
when
yeah.
you look at it really close, hopefully you can see in the B-roll. But like, did a great job.
Yeah, it's an amazing job. And be sure to check out his Instagram. I'm going to link them in the description down below. You're also going to see our socials in the same description.
Yeah. If
box,
you don't like
right?
these guys, you can follow me, GearOilCafe.
Or
Also
vice
can,
versa, I mean, who the...
Also can.
Anyways, drop us a follow. Be sure to check out our Instagram as well.
Gabriel's too. Yeah,
Gabriel's too.
Okay, you can also check him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check him out.
But
When
essentially,
you want to.
this video is over, guys. I'll see you in the next one, or if I should say, we will see you in the next one, and we're out. Peace.